Today, on Starfield Essentials, I show the new co-op mod by Ramisotti. Does it work? Is it fun? My name is Richard. Let's get started. Background. The Starfield co-op mod, called Pulsar, is a new project by a solo developer named Rene. His account on Ko-Fi and GitHub is Ramisotti. If you want to keep up to date with the project, I recommend following him on Ko-Fi and supporting his account. On behalf of this channel, I donated to show our appreciation for his work. If you want to download the code, visit this GitHub repo, which I will link in the video description. This new co-op mod has nothing to do with the Skyrim Together project. The developer for that mod pronounced in December 2023 that they were not going to work on a co-op mod for Starfield. The Skyrim Together developer said the code they had written was now open source, but I couldn't find it, and they did not respond to my messages on Discord. Pulsar also has nothing to do with this Orbit Online project. How does Pulsar work? At the time of writing, the version available is Alpha 0.2.1. Download the zip file. The zip contains a license, a README, and 2 executables. Pulsar.exe is the file we will eventually run. The mod directory contains a data directory, and in that is a scripts directory, an SFSE directory, a Pulsar ESP file, and a Pulsar main BA2 file. Note, this is alpha code that you should only use for testing purposes. That's partly why an ESP file is included, not an ESM file. In the scripts directory are compiled Papyrus scripts, and in the plugins directory is a Starfield script extender DLL called pulsar.dll. To run this mod, you will need both SFSE and the Starfield address library. Because of these requirements, there is technically no way this mod will ever run on console. This mod only works with the Steam version of Starfield. I suppose it theoretically could work on the Xbox for PC version, but no one is trying that. Also, each co-op player must have their own copy of Starfield. Steam for families will not work if the family only owns one copy of Starfield. For my own testing, thank you to Mrs. B for cooperating, I had 2 Steam purchased games available. I knew that would come in handy one day. Note that Pulsar is not open source. Ramisotti does not want others reusing his code and packaging it into a paid offering. I'm disappointed by this because I would like to learn how it works. However, I respect his decision and he is the developer. There is one aspect of the mod that is open source. That is the Pulsar Relay. This is code that players can run to facilitate co-op mode across the internet. Now, Ramisotti is already offering free access to a relay that he is running. He's made assurances about his code in these relays, and being able to inspect the relay is helpful. At the end of the day, however, running any code on your computer is an exercise in trust, so apply your best judgment if you want to try this software. Next, installing the mod. I'm going to assume you already have SFSE and the address library installed. I'm also assuming no player has any other mods installed. Support for mods other than the requirements is something worth testing. I assume each player would need the same mods, and that's something I will try in the future. If you want to manage the Pulsar mod with something like Vortex, you can zip up the contents of the mod directory. Here I show a zip I made with the scripts, SFSE, Pulsar BA2, and the Pulsar ESP packaged. After adding my custom zip through Vortex, you can see the files. You don't strictly have to do this, as the Pulsar executable will put the files in the right place on its own. To install and run the mod, you run the pulsar.exe file. Windows will likely complain, and you can click More Info and run anyway. This happens because the executable is unsigned. The Pulsar application provides tabs for co-op, setup, updates, settings, help, reporting bugs, and about. If this is your first time trying Pulsar, head to the Setup tab. Use the Install Mod toggle if necessary, and make sure everything is green as shown here. The Updates tab shows you how to update the mod from within the menu. In the Settings tab, you'll see the IP address of a WebSocket secure connection to an optional database server. According to Ramisotti, the database only holds lobby listings and your character items, level, and perks. The Help tab has a lot of frequently asked questions, and the Report a Bug tab facilitates what it says. The About tab provides contact and support options. Next, starting a game. If you want to start a game, be sure no player is already running Starfield. For the simplest experience, the first player can just select Host a Game, and Pulsar will start Starfield. The first player should load a save and wait. Steam and Starfield will take over your screen. Alt-tab back to the Pulsar window, where you will see a code. In my example here, it's EC6YLN. To have a friend start playing, they would start Pulsar, choose Join a Game, and enter the code. The relays will take care of the two computers talking to each other. Note that port 7777 UDP must be allowed to traverse the network for connections to occur. In my example, I tried hosting locally on my wireless LAN. I had to disable the Windows firewall on both machines to enable connectivity. I could probably have just allowed port 7777 UDP through, however. Nothing happens until the second player loads a save. Once they do, they'll see a second save load screen. They're essentially loading into the host player's game. I guess technically the save of the host is being sent over to the client. Anyway, next, playing co-op. It's pretty fun seeing a friend appear in Starfield. The biggest issue I had with testing was my second character losing their Starborn suit when in a hazardous environment. I ended up testing the mod inside the Red Mile, where losing a suit would not make a difference. However, in there, my second character appeared to be fine. I noticed that from the perspective of the second character, my first character was wearing a spacesuit indoors. I expect these and other issues to be fixed over time, which is why I tested this mod and captured this footage. Conclusion. Even though this mod had some issues, it was really fun running around a Starfield location with another player. Thank you, Mrs. B. I plan to keep a close eye on this project and test versions as Ramisotti releases them. Let me know if you try it and what you think. Thank you, Ramisotti, for developing the Pulsar co-op mod. And thank you to all my subscribers. Please consider subscribing to show YouTube that you enjoy positive and honest Starfield content. In addition to videos, I also post to the community tab for this channel on a daily basis. If you subscribe, you'll see these posts in your YouTube feed. Special thanks to all channel members. I hope you're enjoying our private Discord server, early access to these videos, and members-only live streams. And now that Pulsar is working, I think I gotta grab Starfield Eclipse and see if we can get this working for a live stream. If you'd like to know more about membership, click the join button on the channel. I use your contributions to pay for drives for capturing footage, to buy creations to review, and to pay the monthly fee for StreamYard, which I use for live streams. And I also use your contributions to donate to Ramisotti and Pulsar. If you made it to this part of the video, please consider leaving a comment with the word duo. By the way, Pulsar is supposed to allow more than 2 players, but I've only tested 2 right now. Check out my other videos, and please tell your friends about the channel. My name is Richard. I will see you in the Starfield.